All right, so Geminis, I need to get you guys caught up with the other zodiacs. The way I had asked a question um, earlier this week is to say what is it that might be coming up in the like change of the season for Gemini. So, I'm in the northern hemisphere and we're seeing signs that spring is coming eventually. If you're in the southern hemisphere, you're probably going from summer into autumn, but as that seasonal change occurs, what are the things to kind of look forward to? With the seasonal change, it can represent, kind of like a life shift also. We have a nine of wands, so there could be some healing coming in for Gemini. Let's take another look here. We do have like the end of I don't know if somebody's been like doing some kind of outdoor labor, farm work, harvesting this or that. Maybe somebody who works in like a production, whether it's indoor or outdoor, but it's got to do with like plant life. I want to say like bare root fruit trees. I want to say if it is harvest season in warmer climates, for example, um, the work that somebody has done has perhaps, like, say this was a seasonal job. Um, that seasonal job might have proven to like be just what somebody needed. Like I personally, I'm a huge earth muffin. I'm a big huge gardener myself, and I've always found that working with the earth, working with growing things, plant life, the harvesting of stuff, digging in the dirt, there's just something so immensely healing and soothing about it for me. So I can definitely resonate with how like a career or a task or doing something where a character got to work with something about nature could have had a secondary impact of not only was it a job where I made a paycheck, but I also realized it healed something in me. So it could have been, somebody just feels stronger. When you're doing physical labor, you do get stronger. Sometimes our favorite jobs looking back are the ones that like made us feel more alive. We have a three of wands and we have the two of swords in the reverse. I kind of think it's obvious. I think Gemini realizes that as they are feeling more healed, they're looking at their future and they're like, oh my God, why didn't I do this before? Like, this was so much easier. The healing process was easier than I thought. If I were doing I was doing a temp job or I was doing something, God, it really helped me get my life back on track. I feel so hopeful. Damn, why did I do this sooner? Like, I have skills that I was ignoring. Now that I feel so much better about myself, about my life, now that I don't see blockages, I'm like, damn, I'm kind of rocking it. I'm looking forward to my future, but I guess I should have found this confidence a little bit sooner. It just feels like I think Gemini is going to have a lot of things in their life start to feel easier, brighter, and better, particularly if they. I keep feeling like this is a character who kind of had to work to get their life back on track in some capacity. And now that they've done it, it's like, actually, this was an amazing experience. Four of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles, Eight of Swords. I think this could kickstart. I could see this Gemini. Let me give a scenario because this is really what's in my head right now. I'm picturing a Gemini who maybe they got themselves into a bit of trouble, right? Maybe they got themselves into, great people make mistakes all the time. You do something wrong, you got to do some kind of community service, can't pay for this, you got some fines. So then you got to go do some community service to help pay those fines off. You got to pay your debt to society. You get your life back on track. And then you go, damn, you know what? I'm not the only person who slips into, one thing goes wrong and then a whole bunch of other things. You make some bad choices. You kind of get your life off track. And then you got to get back on the right tracks again. I think I'd like to help people do that. I don't know if this is like a sobriety coin. I'm picturing it like I could become like a mentor for others that are kind of stuck, feeling like they don't know how to stop a negative cycle in their life. I could see this Gemini becoming like a mental health counselor or an addiction counselor, somebody that's like part of a support group or network of like, hey, if you feel stuck, trust me, I was there. But then when you actually start to get your life back on track, it feels so empowering. And now that I've done it, I really think I could help others do it too. I mean, this could have been anybody who's ever been hurt or been through something difficult in life, or found themselves at a huge disadvantage, found themselves, without housing, found themselves without a job, found themselves in some kind of trouble, it can feel like your life is falling apart. But then when you start to bit by bit put it back together, and it's like you heal at the same time, and then you have this huge future in front of you, you kind of want to share that process with others that might be going through exactly what you did, because it's like, I promise you there is a light at the end of this tunnel. I promise you it's easier than you think to get stuff back together, and you're going to feel so much better. This is, no matter what you're stuck in, it's not hopeless. I'm positive because I've been there, and I'm proof I can help you too. It feels so motivational. It feels like Gemini has been like given this new purpose, and their purpose is because of what they went through, because of their hurt, their pain, their problems that they had to face. They are now so authentically equipped to being able to like guide or counsel or give hope to others, and really shine light up ahead and say, look, I already hacked the path through the jungle. Follow me. I promise you, you can get out of this too, because I did also. It seems like you can't, but I promise you that you can. It feels so positive. This feels like a Gemini who's got like a newfound life purpose. And had they not had their own struggles, I don't know that they would have been, finding this new like life purpose. But it feels really, really beautiful, really good. Like this is a Gemini who's going to probably help a lot of people, who's going to be really strong, who's got a lot of convictions. I keep seeing them like they might start going to like, shelters, churches, places where, people maybe need some assistance, some kindness, some support. I really feel like they're very focused on individuals that maybe get a little bit, have those slumps in life where they're just feeling like really unfortunate, and they're just having, loss after loss. It feels like Gemini is going to actually seek out individuals like that on purpose to help like guide them toward safety and shelter. You notice we got this snowy winter, but then what we're seeing illuminated on the ground is like these kind of like stained glass, kind of like a cathedral window. With that Six of Cups in the reverse, this is not because Gemini is going out and saying like, let me go and be everybody's like best friend. What it is that I have this ability to know where somebody is at, and to instill in them the belief that they can get through this moment. I understand it. And it's more to empower people, not to be like somebody to commiserate with. This is Gemini saying, no, I'm not here to commiserate in the problems. I'm here to tell you that there's a solution to the problems, and you can do it. Like this is super motivational. It doesn't mean that like they don't commiserate, but you notice they're not out seeking friends. They're out bringing light and safety and shelter, and pointing people in a better direction. Not to become like, let me hear how difficult your life has been. It's like, I already know your life's been difficult. I can see it. I've been there. Let me show you how to get out of this. Like it feels very definite. This message is coming through really loudly, and it's only because this Gemini knows what they're talking about. They've been down that road, so they're not coming in and like, trying to preach to people and tell them, hey, I know where you made mistakes. Here's how to fix it. It's not that. This is handled with so much more grace than that. We have the Judgment card, and we have this Phoenix rising from the ashes. Again, it's like this Gemini keeps coming across as like, I promise you, you get second chances in life. I guarantee it. No, don't think about what's gone wrong. Only see there's an opportunity to fix it. You have like support around you. You can take advantage of these wonderful opportunities. You got this. You can be the Phoenix rising from the ashes. I guarantee it. It feels like such conviction that our character is speaking with. Even here, like standing there with a hand, outward. I feel like this could be a Gemini who starts getting really invested in like community programs to help people get back on their feet. But they really are all about doing the work. Like this is a Gemini they're not this super soft-hearted. They're very much about like roll up your sleeves and do the work, and that's your path to like totally be empowered again. This is a Gemini who wants people to feel awesome about themselves. Like they really believe in that, because that was their pathway back. Now, I mean, I will say this, hey, what works for one person may not work for everybody else. But and Gemini, may have a lot of people that they'll help, and some people that are just like they're not ready for it, or that path won't work for them. But I could just say that Gemini is using their own personal life experiences in this story, in the next phase of their life, the next chapter of their life, to really empower and like create a movement of positivity. That's what I would say. And it's only about like lifting people, helping people, but really it's about shining the light on the thing that they know worked for them. The pathway, like do this, and you will get to where you want to be. You will get back, out of some difficult moment of your life. I guarantee it, because I did exactly this. I've got the step by step. I wrote the pamphlet on it, and I'm giving it to you for free. It just feels very, very like, I think Gemini really cares about people, and I think that now that they've like unlocked this amazing knowledge about how they fixed their own life and how empowered they feel, they just really want to help other people do the same. This doesn't feel like somebody who's like, I want to be a guru, I want to be a motivational speaker. It's not that. It's like super sincere. They are driven. This Gemini is so driven by this internal belief, like, I know now that I found my self-worth. I know that I have a ton of value, and I know that everybody does. And that's maybe the number one thing, is like reach inside and grab a hold of that value. I guarantee you have value. That's, if it sounds a little bit preachy, I don't mean it to come across that way. It's just, or if it sounds, so cliched, but it's not for this character. This is a Gemini who's like really has convictions, because they've done it. They know that they're right because they've been there, and they really believe this. I believe this. I can totally resonate with this and get behind that kind of a message. Like, if everybody does have inner value, and when we know that, like, that's where we rise again, no matter what has happened, no matter what we've been up against, when we realize, but I am still valuable. Like, that belief in oneself really helps us rise. I think that anyway. So I actually really, really love this one. Geminis, you get some pretty thought-provoking messages. I think out of all the zodiacs, you guys will have the ones that are the toughest messages, the most contentious messages, and sometimes the most thought-provoking messages out of, maybe it's because, Gemini, the twins, and so we're seeing different sides of stuff. But I loved this one. All right, Geminis, thank you again. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you for hanging with me. All right, I'll see you again this weekend.